Hi, my name is Creostix, and welcome back to Magic the Gathering Arena, where suffering is constant and RNG is never good. Hell yeah. But let's see. I was wondering in my mind's eye about the third cleric class. Like, when I said it out loud, then I maybe shouldn't have 3 of these. Then, in that specific game, me having 2 of these in my starting hand probably saved my bacon. Because I was constantly enduring the onslaught of the wolves and the berserkers and whatever until I got my thing going enough to put them down. But in the off chance that I would take that off, what would I then replace it with? What sort of stuff uses life, like has a life-connected ability these days that's not just a hallowed priest or something? Like, I have a 4th Impassioned Orator. I can put another hallowed priest in there if I wanna, but, yeah, I don't know. Also, I do find it kind of interesting that the alchemy format allows me to have all of these. Like, I wonder why. Like, it does use some of the older cards as well, but not many. Like, it's the base set, the standard cards, and then some of the old ones. Some of which are the same thing as the base cards, like the Charmed Stray here. But, like, why do I have Revitalize in this? They're not part of the starting set, but the game still allows me to use them. I guess this might be because of the Revitalize being a standard card as well. Maybe that's the reason. Actually, that does make some sense, huh? Right, so if a previous block has also had the same card as a standard card is now, then you can use those as well, and that sort of fills up the thing. Yeah, that might be the reason, huh? Yeah, I think that's why. Because that explains the Charmed Stray, the the Expedition Healer is still standard for a few days, so that makes sense. The Impassioned Orators, the Revitalizes, because that Battle Axe, I believe, is still standard for a few days. And Angel of Vitality, that also fits that reasoning. Yeah, I think that's why. Is Invoke the Divine a card in standard as well? Hold on, let me check. Invoke the Divine. Where are you? Ah, yes, it is. Different looking one, but it is. Okay, yeah, I think that's the reason. Okay, cool. Gotcha. Okay, let's go back to the task at hand, though. So what would I use? I've looked at Clement, Novice Acolyte. It doesn't seem super strong, but it is a cleric, which could help with the Righteous Valkyries and so forth. When Clement Novice Acolyte enters the battlefield, creature cards in your hand perpetual get +1/+1. Lifelink, when this creature specializes, you get a boon with when you cast your next creature spell, that creature gets enters the battlefield with a life link counter on it. Because specializing is a useful tool in the sense that if I get completely land flooded, I at least get to use that land to something useful, you know? What's the green one of this? When it leaves, create a 4/4 green ox creature token. Even with that, though, getting a lifelink into a creature from discarding is kind of expensive, though. Although, if it's a useless plains card by the time when I have enough mana anyway, I guess that's fair. That's not a terrible idea, I suppose. So the options I have thus far to add instead of Cleric class, the third one, is Hallowed Priest, Impassioned Orator, Clement the Novice Acolyte. Sky Crier in the sense that a flying lifelink creature is not horrible. Mind you, the ability to make both people draw a card is usually not a move in my favor. Like, the opponents tend to have better cards than I do, because I draw land, they don't. Doomscar Oracle is not useful for me in this deck, because I rarely do 2 spells in 1 turn. That's just the reality of it. It does sometimes happen, but not often enough to make sense. I've back and forth wondered about the Inspiring Overseer, although I'd love for the numbers to be 1/2 instead of 2/1. That's really a big problem for me, because then it would be a lot more useful in healing me through Righteous Valkyrie, because it's toughness. Core Celebrant would be actually kind of useful because of Righteous Valkyrie. I've wondered about this one really often. Thing is, it's 3 mana instead of 2 that's Impassioned Orator. So that's the one reason I've kind of thought about leaving it out, but maybe, I don't know. I've never had Leonin Warleader really work for me. It works for the other people, but not for me. And it's not a cleric or an angel, so it tends to kind of be a difficult one for me to use. I had Wandering Emperor in this deck before, but it was more and more not super useful for me. Although, what if I use it as a flash card to goad the opponent into attacking with something useful and then exile it with this? It is expensive. It's really expensive, but I've had that happen to me a few times, and it is, in that sense, it can be useful. Although 4 mana to keep for that is really not kind of usually how this all goes. Enduring Angel is a really good card, but having 3 white mana is really not common these days. If I had a mono-white deck, then we could talk. And actually, after the Alchemy standard changes, or the Alchemy and standard, like, rotates forward, this remains in those, and then this might be a sensible one to have, especially if I get a more angel-focused deck. But right now, I've had that before, but I made the deck a little less reliant on having a lot of mana, you know? So in other words, at least in white, there's nothing like super must. The Tiefling Cleric is an interesting idea, and then just Healer and Hallowed Priest. I think it should be a creature at least, because this is really reliant on me having creatures. That's for damn sure. And if they are creatures, it would be really good if they were clerics or angels. Or healers, at least. I wonder if one day I'd do like a druid or an elf focused deck as well. That would be kind of interesting. But yeah, green is a lot less reliant on having stuff that gives life. This one is really interesting, though. I noticed this the other day, and it's actually... Tapping is either add 1 mana of any color, or add X mana of any color, where X is the amount of life you gained this turn. That could be crazy interesting. I'm gonna try that. It's probably not gonna work. It's really specific, but I want to see how that's gonna work. 4 mana is basically the limit of how expensive I want to have this added creature. It helps me with mana anyway. I'll try. I'll see what happens with it. And it only requires 1 green, and the others are whichever mana I want to use. You know, let's try that. I have no idea if we'll even see it in action within the next 5 wins, but let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. Luckily, I don't remember almost any of the usernames I meet, so I don't really know. I still got both of the cleric classes, come on! Game, come on, please. Work with me here. Oh boy. Come on now. Right. Well, let's put them both in then, I don't know. Like, this hand is really not a good start, because I didn't get any healers within the first 2 turns, but I just... Sometimes you just can't get anything going. Like, that's a decent example of I'd rather have had almost any of the creatures I had. Not any, but almost any of the creatures I own, you know? Instead of 2 of those. Like, 1 of those and 1 creature, maybe, you know? Another one will line up the shots. Interesting. I guess it kind of tricks them into going for one of the enchantments there, because they're not as important to me as it may seem. The next scry will be pointless, so it doesn't matter if I put it on top or on the bottom, because this will shuffle it all over again. I think the forest is the one I should go for here. Bland is not what I should have now. Sure, let's do that. They probably have a lot of destroying of flyers because they have a lot of line up the shots anyway. Or at least they have a thing that focuses on that notion. Or just kill. That's also a thing. And I knew that was coming. That's fine, though. Okay, so put that in. Maybe... Do I draw a card now, or do I just level up the enchantment, though? Because I can't do both. I don't know if this is the right call, but... This game is very a broken card, a broken match, if you will. Like the game on a software level works, but it's not like this is going nowhere. Right. I was wondering about destroying that, though, but... I mean, yeah, the game is quite determined to not let me play, but what you gonna do, you know? It's not great, but I guess it's useful. I can then add the Lunark Veteran in and just try stuff, you know? Oh wow, that's unlucky, huh? I'm kind of feeling like quitting. This game is like, I guess, well, I guess I know what I'm pulling though, but I'm not getting anything. Like the game is rigged against me again. It's really unfortunate that Wizards keeps doing this to me, but like we knew to expect this, right? Like that is what the game is all about. It's just unfortunate that that's really what it is about. I don't know if I should grab that. Maybe. Man, that is a really, really cheap card, though. Screw you and your cat beasts. Getting a +1/+1 on everything is cheap. That's cheating. And the game has decided to rig the game against me as well. It's really, really unfortunate that that's what the game chooses to do to me. Mm-hmm. Right. There we are. Even against all of the rigging, I still finally managed to push through. Man, the amount of land I got in this game again is just bonkers. Like, the amount of land I got is an example of how much the game tries to rig the thing against me. Point being, I need no more than 5 land, and I tried to balance the deck into giving me essentially that in a game. Without, like, choking me into getting nothing at the beginning. Like, 22 land is, that's where I'm going for with that. The game giving me 8 land is... that is bonkers. And the game tried to give me even more. It tried to pull every forest card I have in the entire deck just to screw me over. It's so weird. Like, I know Wizards hates me, but come on. Really? Jesus. Still, the game was, if nothing else, at least I kind of called it interesting. Alright. Keep fighting, keep fighting. So is Lulu a war mount for the Satan? Or what is the certain fallen angel a reference to? Although I don't know if the Magic the Gathering lore has a Satan. I don't know. But I suppose we'll never know. Well, I get something on the field on the second turn. That's basically not a catastrophe. So we'll see. Hello to you too. Alright, they do one of the Charmed Stray kind of decks. That's interesting. So it's gonna end up being interesting. It looks like they have a more starter card heavy deck, but it doesn't really matter. Like, if they have better luck than me, then that's game, you know? I think I should start with Ethereal Escort. It's risky, but I think it might be what I should do. Because getting lifelink to Trelasara, and if I get it to be strong, could be a game changer, so... I don't know. Angel of +1 life whenever you gain life? Or... Restoration of N'Jago. Ooh, interesting. Search your library for basic planes card, reveal it into your hand, then shuffle. Interesting. You may discard a card if you do, like life from graveyard to your battlefield tapped. Without the cycle in the battlefield, transport, attacks or blocks with a 1/1 call this feature. Okay, that's actually a decently curious card. That's actually kind of interesting. Like, actually kind of interesting. Okay. Lunarch Veteran is not a horrible card to grab at this stage. But I think I could do better. How many healers do I got? Not many. I do need one more, don't I? Yeah, okay. And it's cheap as well. I kind of do need one, don't I? I usually don't have Ethereal Escort on the field for too long, so it's interesting to see how this turns out. Gonna be curious. Oh, it's one of those. That's actually really strong. At the beginning of your end step, if you gain 3 or more life this turn, create a 3/3 white angel creature token with flying. For 3 mana, exile the Book of the Exalted Deeds. Put an enlightened counter on target angel. It gains you can't lose the game, and your opponents can't win the game. Activate only as a sorcery. That is bonkers strong. That is like one of the strongest cards in the game. Four, 8, 10. I can get 10, 11, 13. So not worth it, not yet. Do I have anything in the graveyard? No, not worth getting, no. I think cleric class is not what I need. I actually need the enchant, but the... I need removal, really. Is it a target angel? Yeah. Okay, grab this then. If they don't get a solid angel into the field, we have a chance. Four, 4, something, something, 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3. Oh, but that's an angel, isn't it? Fox Monk. Okay, it's not. Okay, cool. That isn't very... Like, it's just... It has a bunch of starting cards, but that artifact is extremely crazy strong. Like, my goodness, it's strong. I need removal really badly. Ah, that's a great card, but I really need removal, though. I have a, like, I think I have one, straight up destruction card. Just need to get lucky enough to actually pull it.
They may be a god in disguise. Stay your hand. Let's talk.
Mm-hmm. I could actually also remove the Lunark Veteran and just get it back into my field to get more counters into Voice of the Blessed if I wanna.
I think I've done enough.
Artifact, enchantment, or target creature. I think that card should probably be just banned from every format. Like, what else is that than wasting everyone's time, right? I'll attack probably after I get more Voice of the Blessed, so I don't end up losing the field I have. Right. Actually, this works too. There. I'm not answering good game to that one. That's just trolling. That is trolling to make a game as long as possible. He's not even trying to win. He just made a deck to troll people, and honestly, that card should be banned from the format. Like, it's just... that is just trolling. There's nothing else than trolling going on there. So, you know... it's an interesting, like, should they be put into an oven to warm the people's homes in, you know, during the upcoming energy crisis in the winter? Well, I mean, yeah, but with slightly maybe less, let's say, resentment, and more like a solemn, well, you do deserve this, but it's still for the good, though. And they could maybe be told to try to find solace and meaning in the fact that them being put in the oven will indeed help the people who need it to be more warm. To, like, try to find some closure when they expire. You know? Like, I think there's some, like, a silver lining that they maybe should be, allowed to have in that moment. And I feel like that also means that we are the greater, the better people. Like, you know the saying, be the better person? Like, that's kind of what I think it means. Like, you have the aware of it all to be the better person, to try to give the expiring person in the oven some closure in that their expiration does mean something and creates a good, warm, literally warm, feeling to the people who need it during the crisis of energy. You know, like there's something good in it for them as well, you know, as they expire. I feel there's something along that line, I feel, is what should be in store, and I think will probably be. Just write that name up right there, and just put it in the mail, and we'll just see it how it goes. Yes? Yes. Good. Mm-hmm. And then I feel a meaning of finding that fuel for the good, you know? Alrighty. And the card is Blade Blizzard Kitsune. Creature Fox Ninja. Ninjutsu for 4 mana and double strike. That is a lot of mana for ninjutsu, huh? Alright. So it goes. Still, 7 wins thus far. After that marathon of a game, I need a quick break, but I'll keep on streaming. But if you're watching this on YouTube, I hope you've enjoyed. And if you have, smash that like button like it's the person who uses a card where no one can win. Right in the eyes. Right there. Smash. Like button. And the subscribe button, kick that person. Just right in there. And just make it feel like that's what you're doing. Let's subscribe like, you know? That feels nice. I at least have that vibe and thought in my mind. Yes. Alright, good. But yeah, have a good one and see you in the next one. Bye.